I won't take up too much of your time, but thank you again for giving me this opportunity for you to speak with you before you get out there and show what you know how to do. 4 big ideas from me to you today. The grit, thank you, Gigi. The grind, the hustle, and the process. Each of you was chosen to be here. Don't forget that. You're a piece to the puzzle that makes up this team. But each of you has to find within yourself your level of grit, your level of grind, your level of hustle that completes the process. You got 28 opportunities to compete. Is that correct?
Now 25, 26.
All right, give or take a few. But I love that stacked schedule because you get to put in the practice every day to go out and compete. And that's what it's all about, right? Compare the grit, the grind, and the hustle that you put in every day to prepare yourself, to measure yourself, thanks, Coach, against the person who is across the net from you. To measure each other and what you need to give the teammate, the other person, in order to lift them up, to level them up if that's what they need. And they to return the same favor to you. The grit, the grind, and the hustle are all a part of the process. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, okay? I'll let you know what they are before I get into the meat of what we're going to talk about so you can process what your answer is. I want to give you those few minutes of processing time. So the question is going to be, by show of hands, don't do it yet, just process. How long have you been playing volleyball? And then you'll show me on hands. That's why I'm giving you processing time. You have to think about it. And then by show of hands, how many of you played club volleyball? I'm going to ask that you think about the sacrifices that you've had to make to get to this point. And then I'm going to pass the mic around to whoever wants to answer, just a couple of you. Tell me about those sacrifices and why that sacrifice was okay for you to make. Okay? And then the last, I'm going to ask you why you didn't quit. I'm going to ask you why you didn't quit. Okay? Like no crying in baseball. There's no quitting. All right? I didn't turn my timer off. First, have a listen at this.
You stay in bed, if you stay on the couch, if you stay in your comfort zone, if you only do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, if you get up, if you grind, if you are relentless, if you work as hard as possible, when other people are slacking off, your life will be easy. If you stay in bed, if you stay on the couch, if you stay in your comfort zone, if you only do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, if you get up, if you grind, if you are relentless, if you work as hard as possible, when other people are slacking off, your life will be easy.
You can't grind without the grit. You've got to have it in you before you even get started to get out of bed and get up and do what other people might not do, That's through this process, you're grinding. You can't have grind, without the grit. And you can't have hustle without the grind. And the grind and the grit and the hustle are all a part of this process. So I've looked up the acronyms for these words. Grit, the G stands for growth. R is resilience. I is integrity, and T is tenacity. The growth starts in here. You got to have the growth mindset that I'm out here to do better and to get better every opportunity you get. Resilience means you have what it takes to overcome the obstacles and challenges, especially the ones that are not within your control. The last shift that happened before our last game where we talked to each other, that was not within your control. That was a decision that you have to have the resilience to overcome, knowing that you cannot rewind, you can't repeat, and you can't pull back together what was broken apart. All you have left is each other. Integrity means that you can trust yourself to do what is right when it's right, regardless of the circumstances. If it's athletics, if it's in your personal life, if it has to do with your family, trust yourself to do what's right simply because it's right. And T, the tenacity, is the persistence, the perseverance. The I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I won't back down. I'm not done. It's not over until it's over. As far as I'm concerned, it's not over until the last practice, the last game, the last day of the season. You have to persevere. You cannot have grind without the grit. Once you have the grit taken care of, you can move into the grind. And I made the acronym for grind, and that is get ready intentionally and do it. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't reason yourself out of it, and you don't have room for doubt. The grind means I got myself ready, I'm prepared, I'm in this moment, now I just have to do it. The grind is about putting in the work for your personal payoff, your personal payday. And when you're putting in the work as individuals, it comes together as team, your power is magnified. Put in the work, put in the grind every day, every practice, and most importantly, every game, y'all. That's when you have the opportunity to show what you know. That's when you have the opportunity to step into opportunity, whether it is on the bench or whether it is on the court. It's still of great value. Can't have grind without the grit. You cannot have hustle without the grind. And the acronym for hustle stands for how you survive through life every day. And some days you can lessen that hustle, right? And some days you need to go all in. You need to go full force, foot on the gas. Don't look back. Just keep pushing yourself where you want to be. The hustle, the grit, the grind, it's all a part of the process. The process. Why is it important to trust the process? If you focus solely on the immediate results, it's easy to burn out. It's easy to become disillusioned. We won that game. Yay! Perfection. It's over. Now you got to get yourself ready for what's next. We lost that game. Oh my goodness. I could beat myself up. I could beat my teammate up. That mistake happened. This mistake happened. You're disillusioned if you're thinking you're not going to be challenged. Nobody's going to hand you a game. You got to be ready to get in there and take it. It's all a part of the process. Okay? If you focus solely on immediate results, it's easy to burn out. It's easy to become disillusioned. And when you have 24 games left to play, you don't have room. That affects your mindset in the wrong, worst possible way, in my opinion. Okay? So if you trust the process, you know that it's going to help you maintain motivation by valuing learning and growth over short-term outcomes. So you learn from everything, the good, the bad, and everything that happens in between. That's a part of the process. It's not just a part of the process for sport, it's a part of the process for life. My only goal is to not repeat the same mistakes over and over again, because then it's not a mistake. It becomes a habit. But if I can keep myself in check by maintaining these things and trusting the process, I can overcome anything. I can be better every opportunity I get to show my improvement, to show my growth. The ability to keep pushing forward without seeing the immediate results is faith in the process. And each of you has what it takes. You just have to believe that for yourself. And then you have to show that you believe in each other, that there is no mistake in this moment in time, that all of us are having opportunity to interact with each other. I'm benefiting from this process as well. But I would have done it if I didn't step out of my comfort zone. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't challenge myself to be better today than I was yesterday. And it's all a choice. Okay? Remember, perfection is fleeting. That's why the phrase is process over perfection. Trust the process. Trust the progress. And that was your word, I do believe. Progress over the perfection. And everything is going to come together, one thing at a time. So I did tell you at the beginning, I'm going to ask a couple questions. So just by show of hands, how long have you been playing volleyball? Show me your hands. And if you're over, what do they do? If you're 10, if you're over the 10-year mark, you got to give me 10 and then the other fingers. Okay? A lot of you have made a commitment to yourselves in this sport. Fantastic. Same show of hands. How many years did you play club volleyball? Wow. And I can't even put my hand up because that was not my sport. Okay? In that process, and who has the mic? Taylor, you have the mic? Okay. In that process, somebody please share with me what sacrifice you had to make through those years. What sacrifices did you have to make?
Thank you.
Thanks, Rania.
Your social life, like gets completely depleted because you're so focused on volleyball and getting better, especially like when you're going to play in college. Grades are such a high emphasis as well.
Absolutely.
So you have to focus on, like, you go to practice, you come home, you eat dinner, you do your homework, you go to bed.
So you
And
sacrifice
then
that
you have
social
practice
life,
in the morning tomorrow. So you can't even stay out late with your friends because you have something to do in the morning.
right? And it's not the same maybe for those friends who don't play a sport.
Yes, the amount of times I have practice.
And I apologize, but it is what it is. And I hear all this, I see all the smiles and I hear the laughter because y'all relate to what she's saying, right? You relate to what she's saying? It's familiar. Thank you very much. Wait. I'll come to you, Lucy. Why were you willing to make that social sacrifice?
Well, even though you're making a sacrifice for like friends outside of volleyball, you still like love your teammates and consider them to be your best friends. So while I may not be able to see the girl that I met in my first period math class, I still get to hang out with who's essentially my family because we're all working towards the same goal.
Okay. I love it. Thanks, Rania. Sacrifice. Thanks, y'all. Go ahead. All right, Lucy. What sacrifice have you had to make?
Just adding on to what she said, like the social life, like for mine, I missed out on I didn't miss senior prom, but I missed my friends getting ready. Like I had a tournament on senior prom weekend, so I was driving to my tournament Saturday morning, and then I got ready in the car and then drove straight to the dance because I had the dance that day. And then
Wow.
I drove back on Sunday morning
To play the next day.
to play the next
Wow.
day.
Why did you make that sacrifice?
Because it was important to my team that I was there, and I didn't want to miss it because I felt like that was selfish just for a dance.
So you made it, but you made both. You
Yeah.
made it happen both ways.
Yeah.
Even though you sacrificed time as well. Fantastic, Lucy. Thank you. Belen, take the mic, please. Sacrifice you've had to make.
I would say my mental capacity, I guess, a lot of room in my mind has been taken up because of volleyball, and I'm just, a lot of players and coaches relate to this. Even off the court, you're thinking about the game or the practice, what I can do to be better or what didn't work and blah blah blah. And can I answer the next one?
Okay.
Okay.
Why
Anyway.
did you make that sacrifice? Yes.
I make that sacrifice because I love volleyball. I feel like a true athlete, they think about quitting their sport every season. Really.
Okay, real talk. Yes.
Yeah. And they're definitely, I get that time where I'm not playing next season. This is it for me. But I always come back to it because I can't imagine myself, without the sport and without the team.
I'm game for that. I cheer for that. That's awesome. Okay.
Anyways.
So that's what makes it worth
Yeah.
the sacrifice worthwhile for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody else? Is there another hand? Sacrifice you've had to make? Sacrifice sleep? Kayla? Sacrifice sleep? I know it's a given.
I've
Okay.
I've
ahead, Karen.
definitely had to sacrifice a lot of sleep, given that me and my sister practice at different times. I finished later than her, and then she would finish earlier than me. So, and then given that we weren't living together, we had to drop her off, and then I wouldn't get back home until 12 o'clock at night, do homework, shower, eat, don't go to sleep until 3 o'clock, gotta wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning the next day to go to school.
Wow.
So that was really hard, and it was a sacrifice that I definitely had to give up.
Why was it worth it to sacrifice?
I got to play with my sister,
Okay.
and I wanted to become something of myself. So
Make something of yourself through your sport.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. And now we're here. That's fantastic. And I like, Kayla, that you included the family aspect. Sacrifice has many variables that doesn't look or sound the same for all parties involved. I know that there's a family sacrifice. My husband and I will go the distance for support of not just our kids, but the people that they play with as well. So if you're not getting that encouragement from your household, if your family cannot be here on a regular basis, guess what? I'll be that surrogate for you. I'm going to be that cheerleader for you, just in case you need it, and you never know. So it is not a singular sacrifice for each of you, but the sacrifices that you made can affect more than just you. It can affect those people who love and support you as well. Awesome, Kayla. Thank you. Sacrifices, Coach. Mike's coming to you. What sacrifices have you had to make for this sport?
Give the mic to one of my parents.
I'd say in the coaching role, like free time, I'm not one of those people that lives to work, but, you know, being a dedicated coach, you have to, like after a 5-set loss last night, we get back late, I watch film. So just a lot of the free time that I would like normally just chill and hang out, I try to do everything I can for the group. So I'd say sacrifice of like free time, and like maybe I wanted to travel over the weekend, but you know these girls are expecting a game plan and a planned practice. So I'm going to make sure I deliver that to them because that's my commitment to you guys.
Yes.
So yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Question? Comment? Concern? Input? Another sacrifice. Okay? And you don't get that time back, unfortunately. All you can say is you've poured yourself into what you were here to do and the reasons that you make to be here to do it. And reflect on that. Thank you. And reflect on that afterwards, that you gave it all you got. You can't be in all places. Do you want to talk about competition?
Sure.
Real quick? Okay.
I'll make it
Competition.
quick. We talked about this on the way over. One of the greatest things I like about NFL football is after the horn goes off, helmets come off, everybody meets in the middle, and you see guys smiling and dapping each other up, hugging each other up, talking about whatever they're talking about. When I lose, I don't want to talk to nobody. But it's that competition. You're going against those ladies out there that have put in the same amount of time or more than you have and made the same sacrifices that all of you had to be standing across that net. So in one sense, you have to respect that, right? That's the camaraderie that sports brings. We've all sacrificed to be here. We've all sacrificed to get to where we are. Those ladies on the other side of the net have done the same thing. But it's these three things, the grit, the grind, and the hustle. If you put those together and trust that process, you're going to go out and defeat those ladies. And if you bring it every single night, that's where the progress happens. That's the competition. I want to go against AJ in the middle and put her down and say, I'm the best middle on this court. But when it's all over, I'm going to respect the fact that she gave everything she had to try to beat me and make me look bad, right? And block all my balls. And it's that competition. My wife tells me all the time, life's not a competition. No, heck, it ain't. Everything's a competition to me. I'm driving down the road, I want to be in front of you.
I still disagree.
Right?
Let me just put
but
that
I'm
out
learning
there. I
from
still
her. She's
absolutely
helping me
disagree.
out. She's helping me out. But when we step on the lines, ladies, you have to be different. You can be sweet and cute and nails and hair and all that. But when you come across that line, it's got to be like the Incredible Hulk. It's a metamorphosis. It's competition now. And it's in every one of you. You just have to go find it. And that's what I love about competition.
Awesome. And be fearless, which is your word, ma'am, in letting it show. If you back down and you let fear take hold, that is in control of you. You are not in control of you. You control your mind. Your mind doesn't control you. So make the conscious decision to respect the grit in yourself and each other, to respect the grind in yourself and each other, to respect the hustle in yourself and each other, and respect the process, okay? I want to get loud for just a minute. We're going to start a little slow, and I want you to build up because you've got to take energy out of here, and I want you to take it out on that court with you. So we're going to start with just a clap, right? And then I want you to get your voices involved. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What day is it? What day is it? Game day. What day is it? What day is it? Tights on three! Tights on three! 1, 2, 3, tights! Oh, awesome. Thank you, ladies. Let's go.